This is the 12-string guitar. We find the usual 6 strings on this guitar. Here they are. Each string is doubled. You have noticed that the 6 usual strings are the lower ones. It works by pairs. The lowest strings correspond to the 6 strings of the usual guitar. The 6 new strings are above the originals. The high E and B are doubled by the same string, so we hear exactly the same note at the same octave. Here we have 2 E's, and here 2 B's in the same octave. The other 4 strings are doubled by the same note, but 1 octave higher. So the G that you play here, the normal G of the 6-string guitar, is doubled by another G 1 octave higher, as if you were playing the same string with the left hand on the 12th fret. It's the same thing with the 3 lower strings, which are D, doubled by a string tuned to the higher octave D here, the A, doubled by the higher octave A, and the E2 doubled by the higher octave E. So, on the 12-string guitar we have 6 usual strings and 4 new strings, which we call octave strings. The 2 higher doubled strings may be confused as they are the same, the 2 E's and the 2 B's. It's different for the other strings, which are doubled by 4 new strings tuned to a higher octave. These additional new strings interact with the usual 6 strings. Consequently, we are able to combine 10 strings together instead of 6, opening a whole new range of possibilities which do not exist on the 6-string guitar. In general, when you play each string separately on the guitar, the thumb follows a downward movement. The first, the middle, and the third fingers follow an upward movement. As the usual strings are positioned below the octave strings, if I play softly with my first finger in an upward movement, I can distinctly hear the string of the normal 6-string guitar. And if I play with my thumb softly in a downward movement, I can hear the octave string clearly. The adjacent string may sound a little, but it's not significant. I can still clearly choose and hear the very string I want. I have a third possibility regarding the doubled strings, which means playing louder, one way or the other. In that case, we'll hear both strings, giving priority to one or the other. So that is how we choose the strings on the 12-string guitar. Finally, you can play like this. As opposed to the right hand, the left hand doesn't choose one string at a time, but presses on both strings at the same time. Here is an example. We have each finger presses on the 2 strings at the same time. Of course, it's more difficult to press on 2 strings at the same time, but this difficulty is compensated by the fact that using these specific 12-string guitar techniques, we try to use open strings as much as we can, and we rarely use bar positions. In fact, a 12-string guitar is not more difficult to play than a 6-string guitar. There are some new techniques which imply a specific logic, a 12-string logic. These techniques are in addition to the usual way of playing guitar. So, there will be moments when we play the 12th string just like a 6th string. Now, by adding the octave strings, I'm using the 12-string guitar technique. So we mix both ways of playing. Sometimes we'll find ourselves in the 12-string mode, and sometimes the 6-string. We can actually superimpose the two. Now, here are some specific examples of playing the 12-string guitar. For instance, I place one finger here and another here. In this case, the right hand plays the melody in arpeggio. So you can see that with a simple left hand position and a relatively easy right hand, you already have a piece of music. We have 3 positions for the left hand, quite easy to play. Take a look at my website. Here is an example in the finger picking style. A very easy pattern. Well, I will first play it on the 6-string guitar. Here is the pattern. This is what you hear on the 6-string guitar. Now I'll play the same finger pattern on a 12-string guitar. We have both octave strings here, the G and the D, which changes everything. We get what I call a tune cycle. If I play faster on the harmonics, it gives. I can even play you a little tune based on this idea. There are loads of ideas like these on the 12th string. I'll show you another one, but first I need to tune my bass string in D. This is played in what we call dropped D tuning. Speaking about the bass, I mean both strings, the usual lower string of a 6-string guitar and its octave. In this example, I'll play high notes, which you wouldn't hear on a 6-string guitar. We'll place the left hand in this position, the first finger on the 3rd fret of the 2nd pair of strings, the middle finger on the 4th fret of the 4th pair of strings. There are many open strings. I will play the entire melody on the right hand again. We are in D. A bit faster. Here is another very 12-string finger pattern in a picking style. We are still in dropped D tuning.
Toujours en Ré. Toujours avec la basse accordée aussi en Ré. We have a rhythmic effect here due to the repetition of this D, 3rd fret of the 2nd pair of strings, and the octave D string. The repetition of these two Ds gives an effect of rhythm, which is interesting and specific to the 12th-string guitar. This rhythmic effect is often used. I will show you another example of the rhythmic effect after I have retuned my guitar to standard tuning by tuning the bass strings back to E. We can easily obtain this rhythmic effect on the G chord by the repetition of these two high notes, this G and this one played on the G octave string, which is in fact the highest string of the 12th-string guitar. You see that this string is right in the middle of the other strings. Here it is, which may surprise a 6th-string guitar player. And it's played by the thumb. In fact, all the 4 octave strings are played by the thumb. Simple picking by the right hand.
Et la main gauche.
And easy left positions, like an F chord here, a C and a G. And still this repetition of these two Gs.
Sauf là, et là, et là. Là, là.
So again, we have a rhythmic effect from the repetition of the same note on 2 strings. Another interesting and even curious feature of playing the 12th-string guitar is that while keeping the same arpeggio, by simply moving between 2 left-hand positions, 2 easy positions, the first, and the second, the rhythm balance changes. You'll understand why.
Et là.
That was an example of how we can modify perception of rhythm by simply moving left-hand positions. It's another example of the specificity of the 12th-string guitar. Among the 4 octave strings, I will choose the 2 highest, the D octave and the G octave. I'll take these 2, and then the B and the E among the usual high strings. Then I'll make them call to each other, like this. While keeping the same right-hand pattern, I will play a succession of left-hand positions.
conclude, when the strings are played separately, the 12-string guitar achieves its full potential. And you will notice that it is slightly different from the 6-string guitar. A lot of dimensions are yet to be discovered on this instrument. There is enough scope for exploration. I wish you a lot of creativity, inventiveness, and good music to you. The tablatures of the exercises presented here are available on www.michelgentil.com.